Flagship smartphones typically tend to have a lot of hype and fanfare leading up to their launch, but it's not often we see the same or even greater level of excitement for the launch of a mid-range phone. Nothing, the technology company founded by Carl Pei, who previously co-founded OnePlus, has just launched its first smartphone called the Phone 1. Now we have the phone with us, so let's take a look at what makes it so special. First, a little unboxing. The Phone 1 comes in a slim box with a tab in one corner that you use to open it. We have two compartments in here, one for the phone and the other probably for some of the accessories. Now let's take the phone out first. This is the Nothing Phone 1 in white, but there is also a black variant which we'll take a look at in just a bit. Now in the second compartment we have this little paper sleeve, and inside we have what seems to be a SIM ejector tool. Now this is hands down the coolest SIM tool I've come across that's bundled with a smartphone. Now, next up is some safety guidelines, and finally we have the USB Type-C to Type-C cable. And that's about it. There's no charger or case that's bundled with the Nothing Phone 1. Now let's take a closer look at the phone. Now this back panel is something that you've probably seen the most, since it's what Nothing has been using in most of its marketing material. Now I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this whole transparent design, but I do appreciate how neatly all the components have been hidden away. Now, I think the black variant looks much better as the transparent effect is more subtle, and I prefer the darker shade of the aluminum frame. Now, before we dive into the specs, we should first talk about the Phone 1's most unique feature, and that is its notification lights. Now, underneath this glass back panel are a series of light strips that Nothing refers to as the glyph interface. There's a dedicated menu in the software for it, from where you can set different light patterns for ringtones and notifications, or even keep a tab on the battery level while the phone is charging. You can even use the glyph lights as a fill light with the rear cameras, which is neat. However, the glyph lights seem to be useful only if you have the habit of keeping your phone face down, which I personally don't. Now, the lights are also really bright, although you can adjust the intensity in the software, and some of the flashing patterns can be quite distracting. Now, I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me after I use it on a daily basis for a longer period, so I guess we'll find out after a week or so in the full review. Another thing to keep in mind is that you'll probably need to use the phone without a case or with a transparent or translucent case in order to see the lights. And Nothing has its own clear case for the Phone 1, which it also did send me, and this is sold separately. Now, as a premium mid-range smartphone, the Nothing Phone 1 gets quite a bit right. The flattened aluminum frame is smooth to the touch and is comfortable to hold. The power and volume buttons also have very good feedback. On the bottom, we have the dual SIM tray, a USB Type-C port, and the speaker. Now, the earpiece on the top also doubles up as the secondary speaker for stereo sound. The Nothing Phone 1 is also IP53 rated for resistance against light splashes of water and dust. Now, in the front, you get a bright and crisp display which produces very good colors thanks to the OLED panel. This display has a 10-bit color depth, a full HD+ resolution, and a 120Hz refresh rate. It also has a capacitive in-display fingerprint sensor, which has been working well so far. The Nothing Phone 1 is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G Plus SoC, which is a powerful 5G chip that we've seen in phones such as the Motorola Edge 30. The Phone 1 also comes in 3 configurations, and you get 8GB of RAM even in the base variant, which is nice. There's a 4500 mAh battery in the Nothing Phone 1 with support for up to 33-watt USB PD fast charging. There's also 15-watt wireless charging and 5-watt reverse wireless charging. The Phone 1 runs on Nothing OS, which is pretty much stock Android 12 with a few tweaks such as a custom icon pack, extra wallpapers and widgets, and of course the custom ringtones and notification sounds for the glyph interface. Nothing also promises 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates, which is good to see. You get just 2 cameras on the back of the Phone 1, but they are good quality sensors. The primary camera uses a 50 megapixel IMX766 sensor, which is optically stabilized. We've seen good things from this sensor in plenty of flagships, so I'm expecting the same from the Phone 1. The second camera is a 50 megapixel ultra-wide which uses the Samsung JN1 sensor, same as the OnePlus 10 Pro. Now, this sensor also has autofocus, so it doubles as a macro camera. The selfie camera is a 16 megapixel Sony IMX471 sensor, which again we've seen in plenty of OnePlus flagship phones over the years. The camera app has a simple and straightforward layout, which I quite like, with all the basic shooting modes in place. The Nothing Phone 1 looks like it could be a solid mid-range offering based on the specs alone. The inclusion of wireless charging should give it an edge over the competition, and the glyph notification system, while a little gimmicky in my opinion, certainly sets it apart from any other phone in the market. To find out if you should buy it or not, stay tuned for a full review coming very soon only on Gadgets 360.